what? It's Sunday. It's not a vlogging day, technically, for me, because I still have one more house tour video that I'm uploading tomorrow, but I'm doing some cooking and baking today, so I thought I would do, you know, little bits here and there that I'd show you, tell you how I make it, and so forth. And then I'll be back to normal vlogging tomorrow. So, what am I doing today? Okay, remember last week, I think it was, when I had bought those little thin steaks and I made rouladen? It's the German dish with the pickles in it. And I told you that use the same thin steaks for brujol. So how do I make brujol? Well, first of all, let me tell you traditionally how Italians make it, how my Italian friends have said traditionally you make it. You're supposed to use salt back fat or salt fat, whatever it's called, which is really basically lard, and it's got a lot of salt in it. And then they add breadcrumbs to it because, you know, fat will produce, you know, a lot of the fatty liquid and everything, so they use the breadcrumbs to absorb a lot of that. But one of my Italian friends told me, she goes, I don't do all of that. She says, what I use is bacon. And she says, and actually bacon will flavor your sauce and actually give your sauce a little bit of a smoky flavor. And she's absolutely right. And I prefer my brujol this way, and that's how I make it. So what you need to do is get a pound of bacon and you put it in your food processor and it whips up just like butter. Then you get those thin steaks, and here's my brujol here. You lay your thin steaks out, you take your bacon that's like butter now, you take it and you spread it. You don't need to salt your meat. You can pepper it if you want to, but you really don't need to salt it because there's salt already in the bacon. And you just spread it on there, and then you take it and you tightly roll it up, and you can either tie them or you can use a toothpick like I do and clip them shut. Then after you do that, then they need to be browned. And sometimes when you brown your bacon, your brujol, the little pieces of bacon will come out and it'll start getting nice and crisp. When you go to take your brujol out to get ready to put it in your sauce, make sure you scoop out all of those little crispy bacon little clusters that fall into the fat. You're going to throw all of that into your sauce. And I start my sauce early in the morning because I bring it up to a boil, and I then cut it back and I cook it on medium for maybe about an hour, stirring occasionally so, you know, it doesn't stick at the bottom. And then after I've cooked it like that for, it'll be now over an hour, then I turn it down to really low or simmer, and I leave it on there for about another 3 hours. So I let my sauce cook for about 4 hours. And in doing so, all of that sauce is going to get infused into the meat, making your meat tender, and then that smoky flavor from the bacon's going to escape out of there and get into your sauce, and it will be glorious. You will love it, trust me. So anyway, I'm making brujol today. Now, in addition to brujol, because one day this week I'm going to feel like not cooking so much, you know, so I want to be able to have plenty of sauce with meat already in it. So all I got to do is just boil some pasta. So I'm making meatballs. So these are ready to go in when those come out. And I'll tell you how I do my meatballs. I like to use lean ground beef. And the leaner your beef is, when you're adding breadcrumbs and that sort of thing, they'll get like real tough. So what I do, I put in 4 tablespoons. So say I got, this is a 2 tablespoon. I use 2 scoops of this, of my Parmesan. So that would be 4 tablespoons of Parmesan, 4 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, 1 egg. You want to salt and pepper to taste, so what, half of a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt, depending on how much you like, some pepper, and I put in some basil, and then I put in 2 tablespoons of water. And I put in the 2 tablespoons of water because, like I said, I use lean ground beef, and I don't like real hard meatballs. I like mine really soft, and so it puts moisture back in there. And so anyway, when I take those out, the meatballs are going to go in, they're going to get browned, and then I'm going to make my sauce and put all of that in there. Now, when I make brujol, because the sauce is going to get that bacony, smoky flavor, I don't put herbs. I don't do the basil and the oregano. I don't do all of that. How I do mine is I salt. You have to salt your sauce. You have to put some pepper in it, and I put in a little bit of sugar because, like I have said before in videos, whenever you're making like chili, you're making tomato sauce of any kind, you should always try to put at least a little bit of sugar in there, because tomatoes are fruit, really, and you need to, it's got a lot of acid in it, and when I make chili, when I make sauce, I put in a little bit of sugar. Not a lot, because you don't want it real sweet, but actually the sugar helps to bring out the flavor of the tomatoes. That's what I find anyway. So what I'm basically saying is I just do a bland sauce. I'm just going to salt and pepper it with a little bit of sugar, and then throw my meat in there, and then all the meats working together, especially the bacon's going to infuse the sauce. Okay, I've taken my brujol out, and I've got just a little bit of fat in there because I'm going to leave it in there for my meatballs. And when I take my meatballs out, it's going to be still with the browned, crispy yummies. I'll just drain the fat that's coming out from my meat, and I'm leaving all of this. I'm not going to use a clean pan. I'm not going to take this pan and try to wash it. You want all of this because there's good yummy flavors in there. And so I just throw my crushed tomatoes and tomato paste and water in here and get my sauce going. Okay, here's my brujol and meatballs, and it's already started to boil, but I stirred it down, and so now it's got to filter back up in through the meat. But I'm going to go ahead and get ready and put my lid on. Doesn't that look yummy? It looks like I want to eat it right now. But trust me, in a few more hours, ooh la la, this is going to be like the best sauce. I love it. I love it. So now we need to turn it down. We need to get the lid on, and for about the next hour, like I said, I will be coming and stirring it occasionally so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. I washed raspberries, and I've been extracting the juice from the raspberries. I had to take a break because I had to get all the meatballs out of the pan and everything, but I'm going to make macaroons. We say macaroons in English. I even say it, you know. I've introduced those to those of you that don't know what they are at Disney World, and then when I did my haul, they had the pistachio macaroons that I bought when I was out shopping, and they have all kinds of videos and recipes that you can get online. I did find a very good recipe, and I will post the link in this video so you can see it. And this lady, she makes raspberry macaroons. You can do all different kinds. Then I found a nice website that I will also post the link, that you can go in there, and they have blue. They colored the cookies blue, and they use the chocolate ganache. And you know how brown and blue is actually going together? I have those colors even in my bathroom upstairs, the boys' bathroom. But anyway, that's really nice, like if you're doing like a shower, like a wedding shower or something, or just like a little tea, you know, luncheon with your friends or whatever. But anyhow, this video I found actually to be the best, because this lady gives some really good tips of how to create the most perfect macaroon. And macaroon cookies, they're supposed to be slightly arched, not really arched. They're only supposed to be slightly large. The flatter the macaroon can be with just a slight arch of the cookie, that's really what you need. And also, macaroons are supposed to have feet, what they call feet, because they have like the arched part of the cookie, and then there's like a little tiny gap. And you'll see it in the video. You'll know what that means, the feet. And macaroons are supposed to have feet on them. All the macaroons that I saw at Disney World, those macaroons even that I bought, had the feet on them. I've seen other videos where they didn't really have the feet, and also I've seen in some videos where people's macaroons, they cracked at the top, and they're not supposed to be cracked. They're supposed to be nice and smooth. And that's why I say, this lady, she gives tips of how that's supposed to work out. So I need to go and write down all of the ingredients of this recipe, so I'm going to have to listen to the video again. She includes all of the measurements and everything in the video, so I got to write that down. But as I'm listening to it, I need to write down every detail of what she says, because this is a very tedious cookie. It's easy to make if you just follow all the simple instructions. So anyhow, I'm going to make some of these raspberry macaroons today. I won't do this making a video of it because I'm posting the video. That's number one, so why should I do it? Number two, I've never made them before. This is my first time. So just watch the video, look at that link that I post, and then after I'm done with my macaroons, I'm going to make scones. They're going to be cranberry orange with white chocolate chips. And so that's why I said it's a cooking and a baking day today. I'm going to get all my baking out of the way today, so that I'm thinking maybe this week I'm going to make some bread and put a few more loaves of bread in the freezer. I still got bread in the freezer, I told you guys that, but I'm going to do some anyway. But I need to go upstairs now that this sauce is going. I've already brushed my teeth, but I need to pull my hair back, comb it, pull it back. I need to change my clothes. I still have my pajamas on. And guess what? It is 12:43. I'm almost thinking I probably shouldn't change out of my pajamas. You know what? I'm just going to pull my hair back. I'm just going to leave my pajamas on today because I'll be taking a shower here in a few hours, and I'll just put on a clean pair of pajamas. So anyway, it's been a little bit of a lazy morning, but now the afternoon is going to start getting really busy for me. And I hope that you guys haven't been bored with the house tours. I really hope you haven't. Matter of fact, last night I was thinking, oh, I should go through my pictures, because I haven't shown my house from Ohio, and I didn't show my house from Virginia. I went and I found a bunch of pictures that I was going to do a couple more videos, but I don't know if you like that. So if you don't like that, if that's going to be too boring for you, a lot of people don't leave comments to let me know what they think about, you know, my videos. So I have to kind of guess. And how I guess that people are enjoying what they're watching is I look at my view count and I compare that to my subscriber number, which is teeny tiny. I don't have a lot of subscribers. And that's okay, because you're all my friends. It's a small little world, right? But anyhow, I compare my subscriber number to how many views I'm getting. So if I see that the majority of my subscribers are watching, then evidently you like what you're seeing because you continue to click on the videos. I'm excited because my macaroons, they turned out having their feet. See where it gets airy in there? That means they have feet. That's what's called feet. And so I've put my little cookies together. I'm still putting them together, but anyway. Harry already had one. He's never had these before. And he said to tell all of you he gives a 2 thumbs up. I have the rest of them in there in the oven. And I will share the video in the show more. I've got 1 more hour for my sauce, too. About 1 hour and 10 minutes. I was hoping this would be done about 4. And here it is. Look. I'm doing a video of my sauce. Harry thought I was talking to him. And you'll notice too, the sauce, well, you might not notice because camera never shows colors very well, but if you do this yourself, you'll find that your sauce will get like a real dark, rich red color. And I can smell it. It smells smoky and yummy. Our pasta is cooking away over there, but I thought I would cut into this brujol so you could see what it looks like. Now I do have to get this toothpick out of here. And now we'll cut it. Oh, delightful. And my meatballs, I just have one of those, and those could melt in your mouth. So delicious, but you can't really see the bacon so much. I mean, I can see it, the camera might not show it so much because it kind of blends in with the meat. But anyway, this is brajol. And I'll show you. I don't have my light on. I don't know if you can see so well over here. But let me just... Here's a meatball here. Whoops, wow. That is so tender. It's just almost falling apart. This, I'm giving some to the girlies for their dinner. But here we go. Meatballs. I just had one of these and it just melted in my mouth. So good. I can't wait to eat. And look at Lucy. She's pacing over there. She keeps walking backwards and she keeps groaning. Are you hungry? You're a hungry girl. It's coming. A few more minutes. Who's in my chair? This looks blurry. I wonder if my lens needs to be cleaned. Let me have a look. Top of the morning to you, lads and lasses. And no, that is not done with an Irish accent because I'm just not doing one. But I will say that finally I have the correct pronunciation of something. This here, I showed this in my Philadelphia house tour. I have this sign and I have another one that's outside. It's outside over that way, like if you walk down my walkway out back by my garage to the driveway, I have the same sign out there. And I bought that picture and I have another one where I don't know where it is. It's about Irish people because I'm Irish. Anyhow, I have purchased that particular picture with the other Irish one at an Irish store when I lived in Chicago, and these people weren't my clients. I just happened to have found them along the way. There's one that I have passed here too. It's probably about 35-40 minutes drive from here. I remember I found that after I moved here. I should go back. But anyway, I bought those pictures and I didn't know how to pronounce that. All I knew was, see, the Irish people, a lot of people don't know. Irish people, they have their own language. But with all the problems between Ireland and England and the wars and everything, see, the English, when they invaded Ireland and, you know, started taking over territory like they did in Northern Ireland, they forced the Irish people to speak English, and it was against the law for them to speak Irish. But some Irish people still, you know the language and they teach their children. And I knew that their letters did not work the way that it does in English. For example, like boat, B-O-A-T. We learn in grammar school that it gets the O sound. You take that first letter, the first vowel, and if there's another vowel next to it, or if there's an E at the end, it makes that vowel say the long version of that vowel, right? Okay, so that's why boat is boat with the long O sound because of the A next to it, right? So we know that. But that's not how it works in Irish. Because I have a friend, I don't really call him a friend, he was a client of mine. He owned Sullivan's Irish pub where we lived, because O'Sullivan was his wife's maiden name. But the guy's name was Eamon, and he was Irish from Ireland. He had the thick accent and everything. And his name is spelled E-A-M-O-N. But now see, the way that it is in English, that would say Eamon, right? Because with the A next to the E, it would make the E say the long E vowel sound, right? But it's not Eamon, it's Eamon. So I know a little bit when it comes to the Irish language about how some of the letters work, but I wasn't so particularly sure, hold on, about this here let me see if I can, it's M-I, but this isn't a dot on the I. See, because then this says this, and see how the A has the same mark. It's a punctuation mark, meaning just like in French when you see that over certain words, it's making it sound like Renee, R-E-N-E-E, a girl's name Renee, and a lot of times you'll see a hyphen over that last E, because it's not Renee, it's Renee, because that punctuation mark is making those letters say something else. You see what I'm saying? And so I never believed that said mile. And because I had asked the girl at the Irish store where I bought this, I said, now how do you say this in Irish? I'm thinking, she didn't speak Irish with an accent, you know what I mean? She worked there. But I think that she was the owner of the store. And she was giving me her history that, you know, her family was Irish and some of her family members have been to Ireland and all this, and they love all things Irish. That's why she opened the store. So when I asked her how to say that, she couldn't even pronounce it. It's like, well, if you're selling all things Irish, you're talking about your Irish history, you're proud of your Irish history, you're going to sell things like that. Learn what these things say so that when somebody asks you how to say it, you know how to say it. You know what I mean? And she said, well, I know the C-E-A is Cade. And I already knew that. And how I knew that was because of my friend who's named Eamon. See, the E and the A. See, I knew that said an A sound. So the Cade, I got that down pat. But when it said mile, but it had that little punctuation mark, I knew that was making not the I to say aisle. You know what I'm saying? And so she kept saying that, and I didn't think that was right. And she said the last word was failta. So I went home, and after a couple days of this bothering me, I called our local library because, you know, they can research stuff like this. And I spelled everything out to the lady, and I said, could you research this and call me back? And she did. She called me back a little while later, and she said, it's pronounced Cade Mile Failta. And I was like, that's what the lady at the Irish store told me too, and I don't think that's correct. I said that the M-I-L-E over the I, there's a punctuation mark. And I was trying to give her the example like in French, you know, when there's a punctuation mark, it makes the vowel say a different sound. And she got really mad at me. She goes, you called me and asked me to research this for you, and what are you trying to tell me that my research is wrong? And I was, you know, didn't want to get in an argument with her. I'm thinking to myself, calm down, lady. But I said to her really nice, I said, well, I said, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I said, because I don't know how to pronounce it. That's why I've come to you. That's why I called you. I said, I'm just saying that to me, it seems that is not the correct pronunciation. And she got really mad. She goes, well, if you can go find the correct pronunciation, you go find it and then call me back. And so that was the end of that conversation. So after all of these years of saying Cade Mile Failta, finally Jenny gave me the correct pronunciation. It's Cade Mila Falta. Falta. Cade Mila. Mila. And see, I knew that. I knew that it was not right. And so anyway, thank you, Jenny, for clearing that up after all of these years. So, and especially people who supposedly did correct research, and somebody who has an Irish store because they have Irish history and they sell things that have Irish words on it that they don't know how to pronounce. These people need to go get a clue. So anyway, I'm very pleased at that finally. So now I don't have to sound like a dork when I get it wrong. So anyhow, my day today is going to consist of, I have to make my cranberry orange white chocolate scones because I could have made them yesterday, but it was getting late in the afternoon and I just didn't feel like it. I'm going to do those this morning, and then I found another recipe for those macaroons done by an Italian chef. This guy, he lives, I think, somewhere on Long Island or something, and he has a bakery, and he showed a different way to make it. So I thought, I'm going to try this one out. And I'm going to take my time, go step by step as he did, because this is a very tedious cookie to make. You got to do everything just right. The reason why is because you're using egg whites and you've got to get the meringue right. You just got to do all the steps right. So I thought, I'm going to take some time this morning. I'm going to get my scones in the oven, get that out of the way. I'm going to make this other version of the macaroons, but I'm going to do them blue with the chocolate ganache in the middle of it. And then, what else? Oh, and then today I will try to do a little mini tutorial thing about, I got to go upstairs and do my hair, get some makeup on anyway, and I'll do a kind of little mini get ready with me video.
I've been searching